Alright, tubers, what's up? It's Sunday here. Not that that matters to you, but it's getting ready to be paint day here on this F350 Super Duty. Camera's a little cold, so it doesn't want to focus. I'm just getting ready to finish masking this thing up. Door bottoms are ready. I have the back doors off for two reasons. I wanted to try my my panel tree here. That's a Steck panel tree. I got the doors hanging from that. You can see I've got the glass out of them, and everything's pretty much done. I got a couple of cut throughs I gotta put a little bit of sealer over. You can, come on, focus, see a little edge there, that sort of thing. Nothing crazy. All this has been sanded down with 800 grit on the DA, so it's all ready to go. Windows are masked up. I happen to have a piece of paper here. I had this masked off because these Fords, they like to break the paint where this meets the weather strip. Now you can look up a little higher. You can see I have the weather strip out. I've got primer over that, but it actually broke it on the inside as well. And yesterday I went ahead and threw a little masking paper in here and put base coat over this. Now I'm going to go ahead and back mask this just like I did the rest of the door already. Pull this paper off, of course, and then we'll plastic the truck, and I'll come back and put some type of clear on that after I finish the truck. I don't have a good way. You can mask these doors to swing open and closed, but it'll be hard to pull plastic into this jam and keep it from blowing up and hitting the door. You know, if I mask the doors like this, so I could swing them open and closed, they're just tight. The other reason I have the doors off on the back is when you swing this rear door open, it's so tight in this jam that you won't be able to get paint onto the door edge, and it just seemed easier. Plus I wanted to try the panel tree out, so there's that. It seems like I'm zoomed in, but I'm not. I don't know why. Looks like I got a light that's not cooperating yet. It's a little cold. April 3rd, I believe it is, and it snowed this morning and was like 20 degrees last night. So there's this door. I ended up finding a big stone chip in here that I filled, and I've got some 1K primer over it. I don't like to do that, but that's the U-pole high build over that. It works pretty good. Same thing on this door. It had a chip up here, so I got that fixed. So I'm gonna go ahead and get this masked up the rest of the way. I know some of you guys were leaving comments that you wanted to see the high build primer. I've done so many primer videos, it just seems monotonous and boring, and primer is, to me, not the icing on the cake. It is an important step. These doors did block out good. I blocked them out with 320 and then went over everything, re-guide coated, and 600 grit over all the area, even above where that little stone chip repair was right there. So that's all good. They all blocked out nice. They're straight from the best I can tell. We got some chips on the edges of the doors. I'll dust a little paint over those. I mean, this is, again, 90% of these trucks that I do, they're all work trucks, so that's the way we're going to handle that. So I don't want to eat up a bunch of time babbling in circles about what I'm going to do here. I'm going to go ahead and get this truck masked up with the plastic and get some heat going, and I will bring you guys back at that point where we're ready to paint. So we'll see you then. Alright folks, she's all masked up and ready to go. I've wiped it down with the wax and grease removing waterborne solvent on this one. And we're going to get some base coat whacked on here with the Sata Jet 1.3 in the 3000 HVLP gun. Just quick tack off here, nothing too crazy. The paint we're using is Debeer solvent line, which is the 500 Barra base. Mixes 1:1. It's a premium base coat, and it is Ford Oxford white. So being a white, I probably should used a white sealer on there, but it's amazing. This base coat actually covers rather quickly, quicker than you would imagine. And this first coat, actually, I believe I'm using another leftover white base coat just to try and hide that first coat quicker, you know, with the primer and so on, so that we don't have to waste as much of our precious paint here, you know, get rid of some paint that I don't need. It's not advisable when you have a small area to paint unless you can contain that improper color, even though it is a white. Some whites are more yellow than others, so in this instance I just tried to contain it. I'm using this Steck panel tree stand here. I'm really liking this. It works great for hanging doors. These rear doors are really not that heavy, and I was able to hang them by myself, so that's a plus too. That way I didn't have to lay them down on panel stands. And the main reason that they're hanging like this is the rear door openings. When you open the door and make it a swinging door, it actually tucks inside the jamb at the hinge side, so it makes it real tricky to mask. And I also wanted to try out this panel stand for the doors. Haven't really used it much yet. I really bought it for this project to see how I liked it, and I think I'd really like to get a second one. So just basically going for coverage here. I want to get this primer hidden and move on to getting the right color paint on it. By doing this first step, I should be able to get it hidden enough where I can switch right over to the proper base coat and move down the line. Maybe 3 coats max on this, but I'm kind of rolling this fella out of the way here so I can move my movable light stand over. You know, painting in the dungeon here, never a dull moment. And of course, those of you who have been following the videos lately, you've seen the last 3 trucks I've painted all white. No rest for the wicked for me, but I'm getting better at it. You'll see later on in this video, I'll point it out, I actually run the base coat in one spot on the rear door. I really pooched it, so ended up having to go back, but we'll talk about that a little bit more later on. Also, I'm not going to show the driver's side of the truck because it is literally about 2 feet from the wall over there, and I don't have room to set up the camera stand, so we'll get this side. I've got the best camera angle on it, and we'll drag you guys over there and get you the up close and personal view here best we can. Also, I have noticed something on my camera. I've got the Canon HF-M50, and I've got a wide angle lens on it so that I can move the camera closer but yet get more in the view. There's actually a setting on the camera, and I didn't even know about it, for wide angle. What was happening before, every time I'd move the camera, it would try and focus in a tighter area, and it would distort the video. And you guys probably didn't notice it because I could get rid of most of it in the editor, but YouTube kept barking at me, telling me my video was shaky, and, you know, telling you they can stabilize it. Well, I think we may have remedied it, and I don't know if I found that setting when I was doing this, but hopefully these upcoming videos will be just a touch better quality. So that's about it for getting this ground coat on of white, and we'll see what happens here. Maybe we'll get a surprise. Trying to get the back of this door coated too. There's a little primer there, so that's going to be it for this coat. Alright folks, welcome back to what I call the midstream break. Got 4 coats of base on this stuff. I'm going to show you the good and then I'll show you the bad. Passenger door, everything is good on this one. All the body work is hidden. It turned out real good. I actually, the last clip of this video, I was putting some base coat on this that was not the right color white, just trying to hide that primer that I had on here. I didn't have any white sealer, so we just went with that, but everything is cool here. And I'll show you the driver's side door. I quit filming the base coat after that first coat that I showed you. I really don't have anywhere to set the camera over here. I'm 3 feet away from the wall, and it's dark, and I have no other way to move this truck now. I kind of screwed myself by bagging it up. I should have rolled it back a little because my lights are farther back, but the problem is I wouldn't be able to walk behind it. It's just taking up a lot of real estate. So this door is real good. I painted my final coat all the way up to the belt molding. There had been some decals on the door, and even after I sanded with 800 and knocked all the orange peel out of the door, you could still see the outline of the decals. It had a big New Holland tractor decal on it, and the name of the place that owned the truck previously still sort of showing through the door. So I went ahead and went up way past where the bodywork was with the last coat on it. That's all good. I got one spot, and it's my own fault. I knew better, but I did it anyway. I don't know if the camera will pick it up, but there's a spot right there. It's got just a little bit of a halo around it, and that had some 1K rattle can U-pole high build primer on it, which normally works good, but for some reason with this white, I got it on too wet, and even though I put some sealer over it, 2K sealer, it's still wanting to rear its ugly face. So we'll have to address that, give it a little wet sand real quick and get rid of that, and then or dry sand it with some 800 just real quick to knock that off. Usually takes care of it. And then you're real extra careful and don't spray it very wet, and just put a little bit of base over it. It's white, it's not like it's a metallic and it's gonna look stupid because I got a bullseye of metallic in it. But the door is good. The back doors are good too. The side that's facing away from us is the good one. I have no idea what the hell happened here, but you'll see. In the event of full disclosure, let's see if I can get it to focus on them. I don't know, it's kind of hard. Let's see if I can't shift that light away from it a little bit and get a shadow going. I put runs in the base coat on this door. Oh, where are they at? Well, there's a little soupy sagger in there, and there's another one here. I don't know if I double passed it. There's a little one up here. If you let your base coat dry about an hour or two, if it's warm enough, 75, 85 degrees in your shop, and you're real careful with some 800 or 1000 grit wet sandpaper, you can take those out. These aren't major. If you stutter the gun and get a real bad one, it'll be harder to do. But I wanted to show you guys that. Again, I don't know that you can actually see them. I can. I mean, it's all through here, going up to there. It's nothing big, but a lot of times with the metallic, you'll see it if you get just a little sag. The metallic will come to the bottom of it, even though you can't actually physically feel the run. It just droops down, and it'll mess with you. If I cleared over these, you definitely see them being white, sticking out like a sore thumb. But at any rate, everything else is good. But I wanted to bring you guys back and show you that. And this is how I get rid of them sometimes. That's that Kovacs Lemon 800 grit. This has a soft interface pad in it, but I actually almost need to put a block behind it, or take it off of the block and wrap it around a paint stick. And that way you just can go real lightly. These things are super sharp paper and they cut flat. Best thing to do is wrap it around a chunk of a hard block or a couple paint sticks, and then take your blowgun and you'll blow the dust off of this and blow it off the door and just keep checking it, or whatever you're sanding. But these work awesome. It's either that or a piece of P1500 wet here. This will work too. I try not to introduce any more liquid to these doors after I start painting them, if I have a little boo-boo like what I'm going to have to deal with this door. I mean, it's a hiccup, and I'm going to stand back and give you guys the panoramic view of kind of what I'm dealing with here, because I get a lot of criticism on why I don't show certain angles and certain shots. I'm standing as far away from the truck as I can over here, so that's fine. We can see this side, but I've got a light sitting there. Yeah, I could move the toolbox and stuff like that. But if I bring anything back over this way to paint it, you'll see my heater is sitting down there. And between there and over there where that paper stand is, going that direction is my airflow. What'll happen is if I move these back away, they'll get in the airflow and they'll be full of trash. And again, the reason they're off the truck is because they were such a bastard to mask, because the jam is so tight. And it's just, I struggle painting white. I think a lot of guys do, but I definitely have a lot of issues painting white. Light is terrible in here. I mean, you guys can see what I deal with. It's my fault, you know. I can't complain. I'm not, and don't get me wrong, I'm not down on this job. It's fine. I'll get it straightened out real quick here, but you guys needed to see that kind of thing, because I mean, even though I've been painting for a long time, I mean, stupid stuff like that happens to me off and on all the time. So until I get a place with much better lighting and dedicated paint area, you know, we'll keep dealing with these things, and I'll show them when I come across them. So we'll show you how we get rid of that when the time comes. I gotta let it dry a little longer. So we'll bring you guys back for that real quick, and then we'll show you at least one of the coats of clear coat on this. That way you can see what's going on. I know guys are really asking for paint videos, and it's been difficult. So we'll catch you guys in a few. All right, I told you I'd bring you guys back and show you how to get rid of the runs in this door. And then I realized you can't see anything with this being white. So I'll make a long story real short for you guys, and I'll give you a close-up. Okay, so I did use this pad right here. Instead of the more flexible one, this one's still flexy, but it's not as flexible as this little piddly thing right here. That tack rag. And basically, you scuff over it, find your runs, and then just block on them with that real light. These, I don't think were necessarily runs. They were just a little bit of a sag, and the pigment sagged, and it gave a little tiny shadow. Now we'll see. I'm going to lightly put some base coat over it. I actually did this driver door that I showed you had what I guess I would call a bullseye in it. It's dark, and I know it's dark. Now you can see down there where the base coat looks shinier, and then right in here you can sort of see a transition line where the base is dull and then gets shiny. I scuffed that and lightly put a dry coat of base on it, and you cannot see that spot anymore. Now this works sometimes, maybe 80% of the time, on light disturbances like that. On anything heavier, it doesn't always work out. So at any rate, I'm going to get some clear mixed up for you guys, and I'm going to dust some base on that door before I fire off the clear video. But this is the clear coat we're going to use today, except I left it out here. All right, you guys are probably like, come on man, get organized. It's almost the end of the day. It's 4:45 already. I've been here since 10 o'clock. It's this kind right here. I'm sure I'll get plenty of thumbs down for this. But this is a 1-to-1 ratio clear coat. I showed it in another video, just in a kind of a random vlog video. But that'll make 2 quarts. That's way more than plenty to clear coat those 4 doors and the 2 fenders that I'm gonna have to paint later this week. I think I used like 2 ounces out of the clear can and 2 ounces out of the hardener can to do a test panel with. So I got plenty there. So I'm gonna get this mixed up, and we'll fire that off in the Iwata. I've got the 1/4 tip in the Iwata. I'm definitely gonna choke it back. I'll do a few test sprays, but I'm pretty sure that my last test put me at about 2.5 turns out on a 1/4 tip. So there's your clear, just so you guys know what I'm working with. I'll probably spray it at about 20 pounds, maybe 22, we'll see. And then I'll give you the narration on the clear video. And I'm only going to do the passenger door and then the doors on the stand for you. Again, because I don't have room to move the camera over to the driver's side of the truck. So I'll bring you back. Alright. I thought I had the camera on. But anyways, it's cleared. Clear flowed out nice. I put a couple of runs in it, especially on the first coat. I don't know if you guys can see that little bugger right there. It's about half an hour after my last coat, so once that clear has firmed up a little, if you take a gloved finger and you smush those runs down flat, just kind of tap real easy. You kind of gotta do a tape test or a paper test to make sure it's not stringing or anything like that, because you'll make a mess. But there's a good one right there. You can see it. If you smash those little buggers down, I think you can see that. You don't want to get stupid, but you want them flat. As flat as you can get them. Oh yeah, there's a good one. So at any rate, again, another white debacle. Having trouble seeing. Oh hell, there's another one way up there. Oh yeah. We'll find out how good this Southern Polyurethanes Clear buffs out. I know I got a few. Hell, there's one right there. This was the cluster. If you get on them too soon, you're gonna have a disaster on your hands. You know where I thought I'd put them? I thought every door I'd put a run coming out of this. Instead, it was this one back door. I've already sort of inspected it so I could kind of figure out which way I was going to go with this to show you guys. I don't know, I think I see something there. But at any rate, oh yeah, here's a nice one. You guys will like this. Oh yeah, you can see the shadow of it just above my finger there. Those will come out real, I would imagine, pretty easy. I mean, yeah, you're leaving like little paw prints in it with your fingers, but that's okay. Sandpaper will knock that right down. And this is kind of the cheater way to do it, but in the long run, especially if they're real big runs, you will save yourself some time. Hell, there's another one. This is what really seemed to get me, was this body line in the middle of the door here. I don't know why, but at any rate, I mean, let's see if you guys can catch the gloss on it. Where I got it laid down slick, man, that stuff's nice. I just lost track of where I was, and it's what always seems to happen with me and spraying white in this shop. It's just too damn dark. But the door, the edges of this door, I mean, they're slick, they're nice, and for the most part, I got just the right amount of peel in it. It's actually better than it was when it came to me, so I'm pretty stoked about that. That clear was not hard to lay at all. Again, I kind of painted by Braille and judged my passes and everything like that. I want to say out of 2 quarts sprayable, I sprayed, I don't know, 1.5 quarts on 4 doors. So I'm sure I overdid it. That's one reason I got runs. I think I went a little too crazy on my first coat, and this is really the first project I've sprayed that clear on, but all in all, not bad. I mean, talk about challenging yourself. Spraying white in the dark with a clear you've never sprayed on a project before. So, at any rate, I'm definitely not upset with this finish. I'm really pretty happy with it. So, there you guys go. I'll show you guys later on how to take those runs out the rest of the way. So, we will talk to you soon.